couldn't really ask for a better location for the world premiere of season 5. It's really cool.
And you've been in this series from the start, so presumably you've come from a place where you weren't sure whether it was going to be a hit, to it being a worldwide phenomenon.
I know. I'm surprised every day, to be honest. I mean, I remember I was telling friends that I got the job, and when I got to the point where I said, well, it's a fantasy, and it's about, you got dragons, and people went like, oh, that's never going to work, is it? And because you didn't know.
Don't give up the day job.
No, exactly, don't give up the day job. But then, here we are, 5, 6 years later, and it's turned into this international hit, which is amazing, and we're very, very grateful and lucky.
And for the very few people in the world who might not have seen Game of Thrones, your character, Jaime Lannister, started off as incredibly hateful, and by series 4, I mean, we really love him, we're rooting for him. I suppose that's the interesting thing with a series that goes on for so long.
No, it's the thing about any of us, if you had to, if anyone thinks about a time in our lives where we did something really horrible, and then imagine the movie about you started right there, it would take a while before the audience realized, well, maybe there's more to it than just that. And I think it's the same with a show like this, because you have, in essence, it's going to end up being 70 hours to tell a story about these people. You get to know more of them, and you realize it's not just black or white. You know, they all live in the grey zone.
And there aren't many shows that there are such water cooler moments where people go into the office the next day and go, oh my God, did you see what Jaime Lannister did with his sister? I mean, it's just, you've had some of the most shocking storylines. And also, I mean, discussions about sex and violence are up there with Game of Thrones. Do you see where people are coming from when maybe they say it goes too far?
No, I get it. And definitely it's not for everyone. But that's the beauty of the remote. You can just switch it off if you don't like it. But I think at the same time, the attraction of the show is that at the core it's about people. And you're right, he has a very weird relationship with his sister. But I always think about it as you know, he has a line at one point where he says, you don't get to choose whom you love. And it just happened. And it's wrong on so many levels. But everyone can relate to falling in love with a person you shouldn't fall in love with. I think we've all tried that sometime in our lives. Of course, this is a drama. It's Game of Thrones. It's heightened. So
to say the least.
To say the least. And I think, and also, we all know it's a television show. It's not a documentary. And you know, it's just, you know, it's entertainment.
And we're being told that this is the first series where the books and the series are going to part ways a little bit more. Does that mean that you've literally signed your life away? Are you allowed to tell anyone anything? What's the level of secrecy like?
It's quite intense. There's a lot of secrecy, but at the same time, you know, people come up to you and say, what happens? And then you go, well, you don't want to know. No, of course I don't want to know. But it's been fun for me this coming season. Everything I do, my character Jaime does, is off book. So it's everything that the writers invented that. So it's been really cool.
We cannot wait to see it.